Hey everyone, good morning, good evening, or whatever time it is while you're watching this video, welcome. Today, we're diving into a summary of movie Finch. Through a sandstorm, past abandoned cars and belongings buried under dunes, a man in a spacesuit makes his way. This is Finch, the main character, an engineer. He walks alongside him, a robot on 4 wheels with an additional manipulator arm and a shop. The man scans the dried bodies of long-dead people on the floor with a green laser. In this way, he marks a target for Dewey, resembling a little dog. The mechanism picks up cans of food, while Finch searches for other supplies. He is interested in the pet section, particularly dog food. After finishing the inspection, Finch sprays cured. After a thorough procedure of washing off fine dust particles from the spacesuit and the robot, Finch takes a shower. During the process, he is seized by a fit of coughing. Trips into the deserted city do not pass without a trace. Finch goes down into the underground dwelling, where he is greeted by a dog named Goodyear. After feeding the furry dependent, Finch eats himself and lays out the gathered supplies, after which he proceeds to his main project. The man selects a pile of books in the library. After a bit of calibration, Finch asks questions to the robot's head. It begins nodding in response. Then the engineer activates the voice synthesizer. Now the robot can communicate not only with gestures but also with voice, telling interesting facts about everything in the database. Giraffes can go without water longer than camels. When Finch asks the robot to tell something about itself, it reports that it follows 3 laws, referring, of course, to Asimov's famous laws of robotics. Only Finch's creation, like RoboCop, is endowed with a 4th rule, one that has priority over the others. In Finch's absence, the robot must ensure the well-being of the dog. The robot asks when Finch's absence will come, but then the electricity goes out. The man heads to the surface, to where the wind generator has failed. During the repair, he observes a large storm on the horizon, enormous, much bigger than those that happened before. He returns of postcards with bridges from around the world. It wants to visit all these places, but the engineer cools its enthusiasm, saying, "First lesson is that in any situation, you must look for food, especially for the hungry dog." Along the way, Finch explains how the world came to such a state. A solar flare burned out the ozone layer, so living beings cannot survive in the open without a special suit. While they search a building, bad weather catches up to them. The voice assistant warns of a nearby tornado. Finch tries to drive the vehicle farther away, but the natural disaster is right on their heels. Then they have to use emergency methods. Together with the robot, they drive stakes into the ground and fasten the trailer with metal cables, like a tent. The tornado overtakes them. Almost all the fastenings snap. The vehicle is lifted into the air and shaken, but the last cable holds. Finch recognizing him as a person. Jeff tries to learn dog language to improve communication with Goodyear, but the dog just growls at him, not trusting him. Finch explains to the robot what trust is, telling a story from his past. When another coughing fit overtakes him, unable to continue driving, he parks in the shade and, going into a cafe, coughs up blood. Finch, due to the destruction of the ozone layer, it is now visible everywhere. Jeff wonders why they do not travel at night, since the daytime sun is dangerous for living beings. Finch seems offended that the robot doubted his mental abilities, as if thinking a human had not thought of that before. But the main danger does not come from predictable natural phenomena. It comes from people, the tiny remnants of surviving humanity, who at first wander in search of food. In the morning, Finch vomits blood. Weakened, he lies on the bed while Jeff makes him a cold compress, and falls apart. Finding his remains, Finch shuts down the helper. It all turns out to be a trap by those very few survivors. Their footsteps can be heard in the hallway. Finch finds Jeff, and they run away. However, as they drive onto an overpass, they are spotted. From a car standing in the shadows, mysterious pursuers are watching. And bullets, Finch is frightened. He orders Jeff to turn off the headlights and leave the highway to hide under a bridge. The low clearance doesn't let the van pass without damage. The solar panel is ruined. Then Jeff pushes the stuck trailer through. Meanwhile, the mysterious pursuers lose the trail and go away. It will rain, and that means there's no more point in saving dinner. It's all over. The next morning, Jeff notices a butterfly on the windshield. The van had hit it at full speed. Ultraviolet radiation is not critical, and here it is safe to be outdoors, fresh air. So they play with the dog. First Finch, then Jeff throw the ball. There, they lie together on the bed. Finch strokes Goodyear until his very last breath. When his hand falls limp, the dog begins to howl from grief and despair. Jeff listens to the mournful howl, sitting outside. There is absolutely nothing he can do to help the man. Finch dies, and Jeff buries him in the desert. He makes an improvised cross and places the engineer's favorite hat on top. Now he is left alone with Goodyear. At first, the dog won't let the robot come close, but soon hunger takes over. Jeff feeds him canned food, and gradually trust begins to grow. They continue their journey west. Gradually, Goodyear stops fearing him and begins to accept him as his new companion. At last, they reach San Francisco. The van stops at the Golden Gate Bridge. Jeff gets out. Goodyear runs alongside. The robot smiles. Now he has not only fulfilled his creator's last wish, but also found a purpose of his own. The film ends with a shot of Jeff and Goodyear walking across the bridge into the distance toward a new future.